Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, or organics of all ages. I am Double R, and in this particular video we shall be speaking about hypocrisy and roleplay, because apparently the other video I put out there about hypocrisy and roleplay, y'all think it only works that one way. Anyway, to get there we need to address method actors. There's three ways to look at this. Method acting. On screen, basic definition. Method acting is done by method actors. That's the basic definition. I'm going to shorthand it so you understand where I'm coming from. A method actor, the long and short of this whole thing, simply put, is an actor trying to conform to the character. An actor, a thespian, converting to the character, to portray the character as clear as the character can be. For example,
you might want to take a look at that there. It's a diagram. This diagram shows the acceptable and unacceptable areas to place crew lights and cameras. As you can see here, this is Christian. You can tell because there's a bat symbol on his head. Apparently this is included in the contracts for all his pictures after the Terminator incident.
All I ask you is to respect me as an actor and don't put the fucking camera right here, because really, you know, it goes against everything I'm trying to do. Right now I'm trying to be DoubleRversus, alright? And as a man in the 1930s, I have no idea what kind of contraption that is. I don't know if it could cause me harm. I'm just gonna grab it and I'm gonna break it, okay?
That's it. That's a method actor. They're trying to be the character. Period. That's their goal. They are focusing, locking in, getting into that character. The batarang method actor, or the boomerang method actor, whichever way you want to say it, I'll say it with batarang because that scene again. That's why I'm saying batarang. The batarang method actor is to ensure all the other thespians, actors, or whatever, treat them as the actor. They're going to treat that actor as that character itself. Examples of this would be Wesley Snipes on the set of Blade 3. Wesley Snipes apparently went by the name Blade on the set of Blade 3 to keep himself locked in character. Actually, it was to keep him separated from other actors, but you get the idea. That said, this also happened with Jared Leto as the Joker. He would send things out, he would try to unnerve his fellow co-stars because he wanted them to treat him like he's Joker. You get what I'm getting at? The batarang version of a method actor is getting everyone else to treat you like the character. This leads to our third definition. The inverse method actor. What do I mean by inverse method actor? Well, Will Smith is Will Smith as Jim West in Wild Wild West. For those of you who have seen the show, you realize Jim West does not act like this. However, in the movie, because Will Smith took on this role, you are now watching Will Smith in these situations under the name of Jim West. For those of you who aren't catching what I mean, because some of y'all haven't seen the movie, whatever, blah, 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 let me give you something a little bit more current. Not actively current, but a little more current. Mindy Kaling is Mindy Kaling as the character Velma in the show Velma. Did Velma Dinkley talk like Velma Dinkley? No. Did Velma Dinkley act like Velma Dinkley? No. Did Velma Dinkley hold the same belief structure as Velma Dinkley? No. Velma Dinkley acted, spoke, and treated others as if she was Mindy Kaling. This is a type of self-insert, but this is also known as what I call the inverse method actor. The definition of this would be you are trying to contort the character to you. You see how this works? Certain definitions, because evidently I need to be a little bit clearer on two of them. Now, first thing we're going to cover is type 2. Again, I know, bear with me. The reason why we got to cover type 2 is because for some reason, when I said in character equals real life, some people think I just mean that one-to-one. Not quite what I meant. This is a typical umbrella. Type 2 is an umbrella term, okay? Like type 3 is an umbrella term. What type 2 means is you put too much of yourself into the character. This could be anywhere from a self-insert, you know, where you're just literally putting yourself as a character, or you're doing a self-insert, but the name, the lore, the skills, that all stays the same of the character, but everything else about the character, like the personality, their hang-ups, their triggers, that's all you. I wanted to say it this way because, again, people thought I just meant one-to-one. All type 2 means is you put too much of yourself into a character. Which ranges from Mindy Kaling is Mindy Kaling as Velma in the show Velma. Or Will Smith is Will Smith as Jim West in Wild Wild West. It can go from there all the way down to just a character having all your intricacies. Your intricacies. Yours.
La 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 la.
Hey, you seen what I'm seeing?
Mm-hmm.
The little girl wandering around by herself.
Who's a cute little bear? No.
Shall we find her parents?
Nah. Let's go fuck her up.
Okay.
What's up, nigga?
If you suffered a sexual assault, then that character somehow suffered that same sexual assault, and you're using the character as a type of therapy to work through what happened. That's what I mean by put too much of yourself into the character. We on board? We on the same page? Great. That's what type 2 means. You put too much of yourself into the character. These are the type of people that will tell you, if our characters are dating, we're dating. If you're role-playing a doctor, you need to have the PhD. If your character is racist, you're actually racist.
This is my people's sacred battleground.
We flew over an hour for this? It looks exactly the same as everywhere else on this godforsaken rock.
Racist.
Well, maybe so, but I can't quite be a racist against a race that doesn't exist.
That's that group. They don't separate the character from the person because they themselves put too much of themselves into their characters.
It was a movie. It was a movie. If you haven't noticed, I am not actually a gay cowboy. I did not actually stick my penis into Jake Gyllenhaal, okay? As I'm sure Ewan McGregor did not actually stick his penis into you. Right? Right? Oh, Christian. Oh, Christian.
I'm a method actor.
Dude, alright, now, this is ridiculous. I can't, wow. I need 5. Now I'm afraid I'm the one that's gonna be fucking the ass.
Not quite method acting, but you get the idea. Alright? We good? We gold? We got it? Great. Second thing I need to clarify a definition on is taboo insanity. Because when you define a word, you're not supposed to use the word in the definition. And as you see here, I kinda did. In my original definition of taboo insanity, I pretty much said, when a taboo is introduced, insanity ensues. Short, simple, to the point. I literally used taboo and insanity in the definition of taboo insanity. can't do that, you shouldn't do that, here we are. So, I am going to keep this as my normal use, but for the sake of having it defined properly, we have this one. Taboo insanity. Definition. When something outside of societal norms has been introduced, the person's ability to use logic and reason dies. Pretty much they argue from an emotional point at that point. They're not using logic, they're not using reality, they're not using facts anymore. It's just how they feel at that point.
You don't give a shit about facts. It's all about fiction. What validates and makes your fictions real? Feelings.
Alright, we got it. We good. We copacetic. Everything glitz and glamour and all that. So whenever I say these terms, you understand what I'm getting at? Great. Now, having said that, we can push on. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of the video. The reason I said there is hypocrisy in roleplay. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Western comics. I'm going to take a pair of them. Beast Boy and Raven, both at the age of 16. Both characters are just plowing each other, banging each other constantly on the timeline, and given the amount of likes and bookmarks and all that that's happening on their responses, I'm thinking they're doing fine. Neither of them are getting DMs about, oh, they're underage characters, or anything like that. No. Again, with all the likes and the bookmarks, people are perfectly fine with a 16-year-old banging a 16-year-old in terms of comics. We ain't done yet. Bear with me. Another couple shows up. A Dexter and a Blossom. They're aged up from their canon versions to be age 16. Didn't quite hit the benchmark, but whatever. They're doing the same thing the Beast Boy and the Raven characters are doing. Bounce, chicka, round, round on the TL. There's a couple complaints at the Blossom role player because, like, why'd you age her up only to 16? Okay, at least those people are consistent. But the rest of them, again, give the likes and the bookmarks. And then, out of nowhere, due to a reboot of the anime series, Rama, a 16-year-old boy character, puts his hand on the hip of a 16-year-old girl character. Both anime. Why? In the Blue Hell, are there call-out posts against the Rama roleplayer calling him a pedophile? These are from the same people who were liking and bookmarking everything from the Beast Boy and Raven situation. The same people who had no problem with the Dexter and the Blossom situation. But for some reason, it's bad when the Rama and Akane situation happened. Why is this? I know why. I explained it earlier in one of my other videos. The status quo, the zeitgeist, versus taboo. Anime is still within the realm of taboo. Why this happened? That's the reason. Now, I bring this up because that is the hypocrisy. These characters are doing things in character. The role players are pretty much telling the story. Does the role player condone all these acts? Probably not. But for some reason, when it's Beast Boy and Raven, no problem. When it's Dexter and Blossom, only a little bit of a problem because of the Blossom character being aged up. Not even over the age of 18, but that's another kettle of fish that could be dealt with then. And only a few of them complained about that. Only a few. Again, given the amount of likes and bookmarks about naked Blossom running around on the TL, bruh. But when it came to Rama and Akane, for some reason, that was pedophilic. are some of y'all certain that the word pedophile is being used as the word pedophile? I mean, if these people who are doing the call-out posts on the Rama roleplayer, if they held any stat, any version, any view of consistency, they would have complained about the Dexter and Blossom situation. They would have complained about the Beast Boy and Raven situation, but they did not. In fact, a couple of them retweeted the Beast Boy and Raven situation. Get it, boy! Get it! Get it! Stuff like that. So they had no problem with it when it was the comic book characters. They had very little problem, at most, when it was the cartoons. But they seem to have a real big beef with the anime. Now, to be perfectly fair, I am using different character names because I don't want you going, I know exactly which one that is! No, I purposefully used different character names, but kept it consistent with the idea of what's going on. But again, it was the anime couple that got hit. And it wasn't even the couple. The Kane roleplayer didn't get hit with anything. It was the Rama roleplayer who got hit with the pedophile accusations. It was the Rama roleplayer who had all the call-out posts on him, even from the Gar and the Raven roleplayer, from the Dexter and the Blossom roleplayers. They were in there too, doing the call-out. Calling the Rama roleplayer a pedophile for literally doing, in character, less than what those four were doing on the timeline. So why is that? It's because anime is still viewed as taboo. You can sit there and be like, no, it's not. Ask someone to define Final Fantasy XIV, and most people will tell you straightforward. Oh, you mean that weeb game? Weeb is a derogatory statement. It is intended to be derogatory. That's why. Yeah, they'll call it pedophilic for the anime side, but for the comics and for the Western stuff, no, just overlook it, just whatever. And y'all want me to take y'all seriously. Because y'all don't know how to act as the character. You prefer to contort the character to you. Nah, fam, not how that works. Sorry. And until y'all can learn not to do that, until y'all can learn not to treat your characters as you, there's going to always be this problem across the board. Until y'all stop inverse method acting, this will forever be a thing. And how do I know this? Because there's community pages for roleplay that push this idea that inverse roleplay, that inverse method acting is a good thing. You don't believe me? Remember when I said roleplay is not therapy? That's what they're promoting. The reason why they say it's not that deep is because they're promoting type 2 mentality. Kinda sucks. But it cannot be helped. Well, it could be helped, but telling people they're wrong kinda hurts their ego, and they refuse to accept that they're wrong. So until y'all learn how to roleplay in terms of roleplay, instead of roleplay in terms of, I gotta espouse my moral obligations and this and that and this other bullshit. Until you stop becoming Mindy Kaling as Velma, and start roleplaying Velma as Velma, there's always going to be this issue. Just the way things are. Good going. A+. Gold. Frickin' star. Roleplay wasn't destroyed until y'all promoted that bullshit. So, I'm Double R. I'm out. Later. And fix y'all shit.